Hello, my name's Mike Bosley and welcome to Mike's Music Workshop. I've been here since 1981, repairing musical instruments and selling musical instruments.
Show us around, tell us a little bit about everything.
Yeah, so this is the guitar section down here. We've got acoustic guitars and electric guitars going down the back here. I don't know if you want to follow me down. Cable there that just had somebody in trying out a guitar, so. There's a space on the wall because I sold it just while we were here. And we're closed today, so that was quite a good day. So years ago, this used to be the piano warehouse here. We used to sell pianos and do them up. And now it's actually a music school, which I started some years ago. It sort of makes a synergy with the shop to have music tuition actually adjacent to what we do. So this is the brass and woodland workshop, where I actually have all my machinery. So I've got my lathe, we've got an ultrasonic tank in the corner there, sort of wash tank. Here's a really old tuber. See better days, but got a lot of dent work to be done on that. So originally in the old days when I had staff, there was two repairers working in the front end here, and then I had just a small workbench up the road. Originally the shop upstairs was open upstairs for visitors, and there was up to 15 staff working here actually in the height of the business in 2000.
How many do you have now?
Just me.
Just you?
Just me, yeah. This is the warehouse part, so there's guitars, new guitars, second-hand guitars. There's probably another 100 guitars in this room.
How many instruments would you say you've got in stock?
Getting on for 1,000 instruments probably now. Clarinets up through here, saxophones. A lot of the stuff actually needs repair. It's actually difficult to get everything that we stock in the main shop because there is just so much of it. There's more brass and woodwind down here. There's sort of small guitar stock, more instruments out the back here. I think the tubas look interesting though, sort of interesting shapes. Think about the ways they were made. It's amazing that, you know, craftsmen have had previously when they've handmade instruments.
What made you want to start it up?
I wanted to start it up because there wasn't a local music shop at the time, and also I wanted to work in the musical instrument industry. I'm a musician, and I also wanted to find ways of being involved in music still, even though I wasn't necessarily going to earn my living out of playing, although I still actually do gig even now. So. 1, 2, go. I went straight into college at 16. It's a Merton Technical College in London, as it was then. And I had to live away from home. So sort of got used to the whole kind of thing of living away and also going to college and learning about repairing instruments. Before that, I watched my grandfather, who used to repair his own clarinets. He was a clarinetist. And when my clarinet went wrong, he used to just sort of get bits out and fix it. And then that sort of got me looking at the idea of becoming a musical instrument repairer.
So your grandfather taught you a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit about clarinet and a little bit about repairing instruments as well. Has been for the last 20 years that people have got rid of instruments once they've got even minor faults, because instruments got cheaper. And now I'm finding more and more people are actually getting instruments repaired because they actually like the idea of having something that is older and they can extend the life. So I'm working on a clarinet on the bench at the moment, which was made in 1965 or thereabouts. I had a clarinet here, so that's with the pads actually sort of in there. Heat them up with like a heat gun, just to try and actually soften the glue behind, and then we use something called a pad slake, which is a little bit of metal. Moves the pad around and make sure that it's seating over the hole, and that's what I've got to do here to this one.
say has been the biggest challenge in maintaining the shop?
It's the changing economic environment has been one of the biggest challenges to keeping the shop going over the 42 years that I've actually been here. It's never the same, so things change both from a financial way. We had austerity previously, and now they're talking about a sort of an extreme cost of living crisis. And this kind of change the way that your consumers are actually shopping to buy instruments or have them repaired, whether they're actually wealthy enough to be able to afford really expensive instruments or whether they're not. And so you have to change your business. I have had to change the business lots because obviously the first 20 years the internet didn't really exist. And then obviously the way that you promoted the business changed as well. So we used to have like yellow pages. We used to have to take adverts out of the local papers and yellow pages and then go to events. And nowadays you promote it on social media and Facebook and YouTube and do things like what we're doing now, which is to sort of talk to people. From around about the 2000s, instruments became very, very cheap and people preferred to have something shiny and new looking.
And did that affect your business at all?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, so we went away from repairs quite a lot. We did less repair work and more selling, but mostly over the counter. We never really got into the internet. I didn't like the internet as a medium. It didn't work for me because it wasn't face to face with the customer, and also I felt that I couldn't give good service because sending a box wasn't really a service that interests me really, because I'm more hands on and more about actually helping people to have a more of a relationship with the instrument that they're playing.
It's not just a business to you.
No, I don't think it can be, because with a musical instrument, it has to work for you. It has to work in the way you want it to work. You're actually connecting with the instrument in a way that you wouldn't connect, say, with a fridge or a television that you might buy on the internet. You want to actually go and try the instrument. You want to see if it works for you, if it's got the right sound. It is possible to sort of get through sort of difficult economic times, but you have to change. You have to be prepared to change your business model, and that's what I've done quite a few times over the last 40 years.
What would you want people to take away from this?
I'd like them to take away two things really. One is that actually repairing musical instruments, if that's your interest, is a great thing. It can be a good hobby or it can be a really good job, and we definitely need more instrument repairers and more people to take up positions of making instruments and repairing instruments. That's really important. But also, you should get your instrument checked over from time to time just to see if it's playing its best, because you don't need to be struggling with an instrument that's not performing at its best. And most repairers will cast an eye over and happily point out anything that's not right with the instrument, but it's definitely will make a big difference to the way the instrument plays. And for me, is you've got to have a career that you enjoy. If you're going to spend extensively more of your life potentially at work, than doing almost anything else, and therefore you should do something that you enjoy. You should do something that makes you want to get up in the morning and the next week and the next week and looking forward. I mean, for me, the hardest thing, sort of, I'm looking now. I'm 60 this coming year, and I've got to think about winding down, possibly towards retirement, which I know it's sort of 7 years away, but it's going to take time to do that if I'm going to close the business. Hopefully I won't close the business. Hopefully I'll find somebody that wants to have a passion and take it over, and that would be great. You know, I'd love somebody to sort of come and look at what I've done and then maybe take it forward. But if I don't, then I have to sort of think about what would I do if I stopped work. And my accountant asked me that question. He said, "What would you do in retirement?" Well, I'd probably fiddle around with musical instruments and play music, which is mad, because that's not retirement, is it? That's not. Most people look forward to towards the latter years of their life as stopping doing what they've always done. So, you know, if you have a job, you would stop your job and then find another job or find a hobby or whatever. But extensively, what I'm hoping to do is to carry on doing the same thing, really.
Thank you.